Welcome to another Practice Profit Report. You know, today is just very special for me because we're building upon our freedom of choice, the master of choices. You know, it's so easy for somebody to be successful. They got one option, one path. That's all they can do. Okay, but when you are like yourself, you can do anything you like. You can work or you cannot work. You go on vacation, you cannot go on vacation. You can see a patient, you cannot see a patient. Do this procedure, or not do that procedure. That's the thing about dentistry. You got wide open opportunities. And sometimes that becomes a little bit tough because we end up making decisions based on what everybody else wants instead of decisions that you really want. Some people don't even know what they really want. So today we're going to talk about the most important decision, the greatest freedom of choice possible, and that is your daily life. Can you imagine? As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be sitting here today with you if it wasn't for us coining the term dental success today. I always say it's today. It's not someday. It's not yesterday. It's not tomorrow. It's today. My number one goal in the life of all of my doctors, just like you. So I want you to love your everydays. Everydays. That means the day you go to the practice and the day you don't. That means the times you're on vacation, peace of mind, complete prosperity, and the times you aren't. It means there's not that, weird feeling in the stomach on the Sunday evenings before Monday mornings. It's all about setting up your life to be in harmony with what you truly desire. This is true independence. As we always say, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. It's that special word called pursuit. Okay, it doesn't say automatically. It says the pursuit of. Because if you have aspirations, if you have goals, if you want to make an impact, obviously it's always going to be work. The difference between the work people don't want and the work people do want is that it's work by choice. It is work that fills you up, but also gives you the rewards that you deserve. I never forgot, very young, as a teenager, literally working on the farm, mowing the grass, listening to Zig in my audio cassette. And I never forgot the thing that Zig would say. He said, most people stand in front of the stove of life and they say, stove, give me some heat. And then I'll put some wood in you. Okay? Obviously, you got to put the wood in. That's the work. Okay? But as long as you want it heat back, you're going to be happy. Okay? And if you can find some joy in chopping some trees, it's going to be even better. Right? If you can use the heat, okay, to proliferate future wealth, investments, etc., it's going to be even better. That's total alignment. Okay? We love the chopping. We love putting the wood. Okay, we love the heat, but we love what the heat can do. If you love it all, now we got it. And so this is what I'm saying. Today's practice profit report is about this. It's about the investment of time. It's about the currency of daily life. It's about the sacred gift of every set of 24 hours. Being on your terms, your own design. Okay, that when you fuel your life with a day, that the return on that day, okay, is what you have chosen it to be. Okay? So day in the life. I'm going to take you all the way back to when I first sit down with my amazing doctors, my lifelong friends, my top 100, my wealth group, but also what I've been doing my whole entire career. Whether it was in martial arts, training kids and adults and families, whether it was in the consulting, what we call mixed breed of dog and in marketing development services, or whether it's right here, Dental Success Today and Life Transformation. I'm always serving my life athletes. I'm the greatest coach on the planet Earth to optimize your happiness, fulfillment, potential, not only as a dentist, but as a human being. Okay? And I know that, and that's why it works. Okay? Because I'm in complete and total impeccable alignment, with this idea. But we begin with a broad question. The question is simple. What do you love and what do you not like so much? Okay? What would you keep and what would you change? It's so special, right? Because you can't get much more common sense than that. Say, what brings you excitement and anticipation and what brings you stress and anxiety? And we just do the good old Ben Franklin, line down the page, and we build both sides. And then we accentuate, we maximize, we build around all the good, and we shrink, we minimize, we mitigate, we eliminate all of the bad, right? Okay, now, sometimes there's things that, not the best, but they give us the result over here. And so we learn to give it a big bear hug and say, bring it on, right? So I want you to step back today in this moment. I want you to look back at the best 10 days of your life you can remember in the past 6 months or so. And I want you to think about the ones that, gosh, this is the days I like to forget. And I want us to go back to that concept of the perfect day. Not just the perfect day scheduling, but the perfect day. And here's the thing. What I want you to understand is the mastery of the categories. Because it's not like every day is going to be rinse and repeat. You got different days. It's like the athletes got the game day, got the practice day, they got the prep day. They got the rest day. They got the conditioning day. They got the on season, they got the off season. Right? So we have to create the same concepts. And this goes back to my hierarchy of time. The least valuable thing you do is deliver dentistry. Never forget. You got to do that because that's how the money shoots out at the end. But the least valuable. The next valuable is creating the dentistry to do. Next valuable. The next valuable is the business development, is working on versus in, Just like we teach working on the patient versus in the patient is how you build a bigger and better patient. Then you got the life, working on the life, right? More valuable than the business. And then you got the working on the you, okay? And the thing is, you got maybe the least amount of time working on the you, but it's worth the most. Then you got the next amount of time working on life and everybody in it, okay? Less, but more than that, less than others, but it's so valuable. And if you got those two things in alignment, guess what? Everything else can work at a higher level. If those things are out of alignment, these things aren't going to work no matter how good they are. Then you have working on the business for in the business. Less time than all the others, okay, but it makes all the time worth more. Then you got the creation of the dentistry or expanding your ability with your providers, your doctors, your team. You got creation of the dentistry. Give me a patient to diagnose deeply, okay, versus 4, 5, or 6 to do a little work on. Not a chance. Okay, diagnose deeply. So that is less time, but it's what makes everything else possible. And then finally, the greatest amount of the time is, it's always the foundational piece. Okay, but it's also the piece that if it's first, it's going to be last, all right? But if it's built on the foundation, the trickle down is like this. If you go to dentistry to try to get to diagnosis, if you go to diagnosis to try to get to life, business, if you go to business, try to get to life, if you go through life to try to get to you, there's not going to be nothing left for you. You're going to be depleted and empty at all times. If you understand that you start top down, the smallest percentage is the greatest impact. That's the pyramid. It's life, baby, right there. Okay? And then you layer it. Oh my gosh. You're going to continue to expand and accentuate. So let's go back to the questions. We're talking daily life. What do you love? What do you want to repeat? What do you not like so much? What would you change? Keep what you love, throw out what you don't. Align. And then we're going to do that for all of the aspects of your life. Your weekends, your free day Friday, okay, your business development day Thursday, or your big case morning Thursday, okay, and your battle plans, your Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. And then we're going to look at the weeks and we're going to say, hey, 6 on, 1 off, 4 on, 1 off, 8 on, 1 off, 12 on, 1 off, whatever it is. Multiple weeks, take the summer off, a month to travel, age and stage of kids and family, all depends. Like, what are you going to do? And we start breaking this thing down to making sure that we're engineering, okay, what your desires are, your state of ideals, reverse engineer. Just like we reverse engineer a patient, complete health dentistry, backwards to where they are, current state of reality, master plan for long-term health. Just like we reverse engineer that, just like we reverse engineer a project, just like we reverse engineer a kid's toy on the front of the box with the instruction guide, begin with the end and work backwards, start right here. We got to do that with your life, with your time, with your schedule, with your flow. Okay? So let's just pull it up here real quick. You got the punchline. You know what we're doing. Okay? I want you to be opinionated. I want you to be particular. I want you to have preferences. Now here's the thing. Most people give too many shits about too trivial of matters. And they give no shits about the things that actually matter. Right? Zig, my good buddy, used to say, most people major in minor things. Right? Don't do that. But give a damn about the things, okay, that make it all happen, make it all possible. You go back to that hierarchy, right? We care more about up here, but we got to manage the details. Yep, we got to get in the trenches and manage the details in order to create the flow that makes all this happen. So, remove indifference, remove wishy-washy, remove vague ambiguities. Be specific, be clear, be particular, have preferences. And then on top of that, okay, understand that anything that gets in the way of what you most desire, we destroy it. We set protective measures around it. That's what we do. Okay? So I want you to think of the top 10 most important things that matter to you. You can go through all the categories if you want. Top 10 clinical day. Top 10 patient diagnosis. Top 10 team culture. Top 10 week in the life. Quality sleep, quality food, workout, quality time. Hobbies and interests, reading the books, going on the walks, planning the vacations. Whatever the top 10 of each of these areas, we're going to build them in. We're going to build it out. We're going to deadline the baby. We're going to schedule to success. Okay, in all aspects of your calendar, not just in your clinical day and your operatories. I want you to remove worry and give yourself permission to want. One more time. Most people's entire lives are based around what they're worried about, what fires they're putting out. Be a fire preventer, not a fire putter outer. Okay? Don't be a problem solver. Okay? Be a possibility creator. That's the deal. You understand. Remove worry and go to want. Give yourself permission to want. We're going to build your life around state of ideal. That's what it is. We are talking about the top 10 state of ideal. That's it. Okay? A future you're on fire for, a day you can't wait to wake up with. Reverse engineer right here. Everything to state of ideal. And finally, the master of choice, the person with the greatest amount of freedom, isn't completely free of obligation and responsibility. Okay, but they're free by choice because they have alignment, okay, with where they are and where they're headed. Okay, with the life they want, okay, and the work they live. That's what we're talking about here. That's how to build a beautiful day in life. And that's what I wish for you. Every day, okay, all of them for the rest of it. Now let's go get it done. This is your masterpiece. And this is what you never stop painting. But you got to have a clear picture in order to do it.